So my name is Joel, and I just want to take a minute just to introduce myself, introduce my journey, and really talk about purpose. Because we all have a purpose, we all have a meaning, we all go through challenges. And we can either do two things. We can look at those challenges that we go through in life, or those things that test us, and those things that veer us off our direction and say, do I just quit? Do I just follow the status quo? Or am I going to truly look at that and develop meaning and develop purpose, develop direction to what I can do to help others, to what I can do to really reach my full potential? And that's what I want to really take a minute just to tell you my story and for you to know a little bit about me and for me to be able to possibly plant seeds that are going to help you long term. From a young age, I grew up in Puerto Rico in elementary school. I remember moving to Miami. And barely speaking English, I found it somewhat challenging, but as many of you know, there is a lot of Hispanics in Miami, so that kind of helped out a little bit. And then I ended up moving back to Puerto Rico after my mom was hospitalized and she was very sick. Obviously, at that point, I didn't understand why we were even in Miami to start off with, but it was more challenging seeing my mom in the hospital and not really understanding if she was going to be okay. So after moving to Puerto Rico, shortly after that, a couple years later, we ended up moving to Port Charlotte, Florida. And at that point, I saw a lot of new individuals that their first exposure to Hispanic was there at that point, where I really wasn't welcome. And I had to learn how to fit in those circumstances. How can I reinvent myself at a continuous level? But I'm not going to tell you all the details, but I will tell you that from that point on in my development, I used to move every 6 months to a year. So I had to truly look at those situations, not look at it from a negative perspective, look at the blessing that I've had, that I was able to meet and interact with different people all the time. I was able to know that even within Florida, there was different cultures in different parts of the states, in Tennessee, in Puerto Rico, Pennsylvania. So that helped me understand people at a very deep level. So I ended up back in Puerto Rico for high school, and I graduated there. I decided I wanted to do something different. I wanted to explore somewhere that had snow. Never seen snow. I've heard a lot about it. So yes, that was the determining factor of how I chose college. And actually, I chose college by opening up the college book, turning pages, and just wherever it landed, I said, yep, I'm going to apply to that one. And yep, I'll apply to that one. So I ended up going to Pennsylvania to college over there by Pittsburgh. And I really faced a lot of racism to the extent that, they used to search my room all the time. I used to get threatening phone calls all the time. I used to wake up, look outside and see, go home, spick. And to the extent that I was even beat up by law enforcement. So I was told by teachers continuously that I was not good enough, that I wasn't smart enough, that I should be working, picking up garbage or something. So I ended up going back to Puerto Rico with that mind state. I let people sell me on that idea, sell me on the idea that I was not good enough, that I could not achieve, that I just wasn't smart enough. I just didn't have it in my genes. So I ended up going back to Puerto Rico, and I had my brother pass away at that point. And for me, that was one of the most challenging parts of my life. I looked at that situation and I was torn apart. I lost like 25 pounds in a week and a half because I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping. I would pass out in the middle of the day because my high blood pressure. And I knew I had to get out of that environment because it wasn't the right environment to be lost. So I ended up moving to Orlando, where I went back to school. And a couple weeks after moving to Orlando, I ended up getting in a car accident. A semi-truck hit my car and pretty much totaled it and pushed my car 3 lanes down and pushed it over the median point. And I had passed out because my head hit the windshield. And as I opened my eyes, I could see this bright light coming at me. But I knew instinctually that I had to do something. So I put the car in reverse. I parked it and I was just stunned. Having just lost my brother and having lost 3 other friends that summer, I was in shock because I knew that I almost went to that place, that I was really close to losing my own life. At that point, I started making a decision. I started making the decision that I wanted something different. I didn't want to follow the same path. I actually wanted to give purpose and meaning to my experience. I wanted to give purpose and meaning to my brother's death. So I did go back to school. But before I went back to school, I started reading stuff about self-help, about positive thinking. And I used to look at myself in the mirror and said, Joel, you're a genius. No, seriously, Joel, you're a genius. And I would tell myself, seriously, you're a genius? You just failed college. Got straight Fs. That's not easy to do. And you were able to accomplish that. How can you be a genius? But I told myself that every day as I looked myself in the mirror. And something magically happened. My mind state started to transform. My belief system started to transform. And as I went back to school, I graduated my AA with a 3.7, my bachelor's with a 3.8, my master's with a 3.9, and practically finished now my PhD with a 4.0, and just working on my dissertation with an emphasis on happiness. And like I started with, sometimes we have challenges, and it's those challenges that define us. It's those challenges that are going to help us get to the next place in life, that open us opportunities, that teach us so we can truly fulfill our destiny, if you believe in that, or our purpose. And I think that we do create our destiny to a large extent. But I think it's the power behind some of those obstacles that help us grow. You know, out of those challenges, sometimes we can have massive growth if we're open and willing to take them. You know, through those challenges, and now challenges I have faced in my life and my own development, because I've had many times that I've started a business and failed, many times that I started towards a direction and found myself saying, okay, I'm not going to be able to pay my bills this month. What am I going to do? But out of those challenges, I learned that I can work a little bit harder. I can truly commit to it. I can think creatively and see that there's other things that I can actually do to make it happen. I can study my craft. I used to go to the library and eat those recording audios. I used to listen to videos like this, and I used to just consume them. But not only consume them, apply them. And through that knowledge and through that dedication, for over a decade of doing that, I have worked with tens of thousands of people from all over the world. Whether it's through my courses, whether through speaking, whether through my writing, I have developed what I feel is my purpose and my meaning. So I tell you this today because obviously, as you see some of my videos, if you've been through some of my courses, if you read my writing, I want you to know a little bit what drives me. What is my driving force? Because it's not money. Money comes and goes. And if you've ever had a financial goal, some of the things that you realize is that once you get to that goal, you realize that you've kind of upped your life out of that. And that doesn't drive you. It doesn't give you the purpose. It doesn't make you want to wake up in the morning in the same way that if you actually know why you're doing what you're doing. So part of my drive is knowing that I have a deeper purpose, a deeper meaning to try to impact people, to try to teach people from my own experiences, from my own failures, from having my brother's death, from moving around all the time, from failing college, from being told that it wasn't possible, to being able to achieve, to being able to create success, but not so much success, not even financially, because that's not what I'm talking about. Creating success where I can wake up every morning, I can feel happy with my relationships, feel happy with my decisions, feel that I'm guiding towards a direction that I'm impacting and helping someone else make a shift in their life. So whatever your purpose is, whether you found it or not, I'm here to serve you. And I'm happy that you made it through this video, that you watched this video. And I look forward to serving you, whether it's in different videos that I produce, whether again it's my courses or my writings. I look forward to pushing myself to keep upping the game, to being able to give you what you need or what people that you know need, to be able to help them in their journey, to be able to help them live their purpose and meaning. Thank you, and I wish you much success.